Good afternoon and welcome to this Wellington Business Expo live stream this afternoon. Today I'm joined by Nicola Moore and Mark Gullett, who are our new gold partners from Recruitment. Lovely to see you both this afternoon.
Thank you, Helen.
Yeah, great to have you on board. So today we're going to be having a discussion around our Education to Employment Showcase. It's a program of work that the Chamber's been doing since earlier in the year around helping young people find employment and helping them get onto pathways for new careers. And of course, with COVID-19, it's a whole new challenge with so much uncertainty. So Equip Recruitment has developed a really innovative and creative service to help young people get some work experience and find some new pathways into work. And so we're really looking forward to sharing with you the outline of that program and how that will help school leavers heading into the working world. So before we start, please remember you can ask any questions you like in the comments stream on this live stream, and then we'll put them at the end of the live stream and answer them for you as well. So I'll hand over to Nicola. Nicola, welcome. Thank you for joining us this afternoon.
Yeah, thank you, Helen. So yes, we are looking forward to working with the Hutt Valley Chamber of Commerce, piloting the contract initiative alongside the Education to Employment program. So Equip Recruitment, we've been in the Hutt Valley for 10 years now, and so it only seems right that we offer some support to these students and to employers in this region. So what we're looking to do is pilot a temporary contract. So what that means is that the students will be interviewed, they'll go through a recruiting process, and they will actually become employees of ours. So the temporary contract means that the student can go into a workplace, they can earn money, and have potentially the opportunity to prove themselves to an employer. And they will work. So we will sign them up on a contract and they will become our employee, and they will go on to another person's work site to work. So we will manage that employee in terms of everything that comes with that, risk, payroll, etc. So this could be for a number of reasons. You could decide that you need somebody in your packing area to help you in your busy season, and Christmas is coming, but you're not sure if you want that person long-term, short-term, or permanently. So we could potentially provide this person on our contract into your work environment. Another example could be answering the phones, covering reception. So all sorts of reasons why somebody might want to bring someone into their workplace on a temporary contract. We'll also be supporting the students. So we'll put them through a thorough recruitment process, but we'll handhold them. So we'll take away a bit of anxiety out of that process. So that might include, them asking us questions initially, rather than us bombarding them with questions. Just providing them with a little bit of business acumen, prompting them around their interviewing skills, giving them some feedback on their resumes, and just really, hand-holding them through the recruiting process and having them leave with a little bit more confidence and ready to talk to an employer. So our objective at this stage is to employ possibly six candidates on our contracts, make a commitment to do that. And we will, as I said earlier, take them through the whole recruitment process, and then support them into work, whatever that may look like. So we get all sorts of work coming in our door, especially over the Christmas season, that we can put them into. And we've got various divisions that might work with those students. So over to Mark's our manager of our technical division.
Thanks, Natalie. So like Nicola just said, we have three divisions within Recruitment. And within those divisions, we service various sectors. So our technical division basically looks after essentially a wide range of skilled staff, from trade qualified individuals through to trade assistants, and even warehouse managers. Within the industrial division, they deal with providing staff within roles such as forklift drivers and pick packers and dispatch workers and whatnot from there. And in the commercial side of things, we have that team, providing business support services for reception-based roles and data entry workers through to office and account managers.
So I guess an idea of the process that we would walk the student through would be a full phone screen, invitation to attend interview. We would apply behavioural interview questions, which is a whole nother live stream, possibly some testing and assessment. We've got testing and assessment that can take people through basic numeracy and literacy, right through to site testing on more senior positions. But for the students, it would be the more counting and stacking if it was in a warehouse, grammatical type of assessments. So, and it will give the students a bit of a benchmark as to where they sit as well. If they're suitable through this process, we would register them onto our books. So we have a registration process which is online. So I think that would be an interesting and educational experience for them. They have to complete a health and safety induction as part of that process. And health and safety, as we all know, is a major part of the workplace. So we take responsibility for a generic health and safety induction with all our temporary staff. And then we have what's called a PCBU, person conducting business undertaking mutual agreement, which all sounds very complex, but we make it simple. So it's basically an agreement of what you would do in the workplace regarding health and safety. So everyone's on the same page, and then you conduct an induction on your end as well. So legislatively, all employers are required to do that. We as an employer cover our part of that, and we can potentially handhold prospective employers through what they need to do as well in that space. So they come onto our books, they provide us their bank account number, IRD number, they sign a contract with us, and we go through that around expectations of timeliness, all sorts of things around ACC, Ministry of Justice checks, so holiday pay, sick pay, all of those things are taken care of by us. And we payroll them. So how that works is that person would be on your site in the business. You would confirm with us the amount of hours that they've worked, and we put them through our payroll process. So that takes all the payroll away from you as an employer as well. So more importantly, because this is a student program, we really will be quite holistic. So just to make, education to employment, that's what this is all about. So we'll be checking in with both parties regularly and just available for any questions. And that's right across our divisions, depending on where that placement might sit.
Yeah, we also offer support to our employees who are signing up to apprenticeship schemes. So myself or a member of our team would come out to the site and get an understanding of the specifics, of the student that our client would be looking for, and basically the skill sets and the environment that they'll be going into. We'll then identify that student alongside the client, and then wrap that student around with some ongoing support here within the office. And that also gives the yourselves as the clients the opportunity to come to us or lean on us to be able to provide any feedback to that student as well. So with this, the cost of bringing on any or the wrong person into a business or into apprenticeship can be quite large. So being able to offer that sort of that temporary contract or that measure would give the potential clients that certainty moving forward to be able to assess that candidate and hopefully offer them a permanent position at the end.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people tend to have misconceptions around the temporary contract.
Yes, yeah.
And I think I had a question this morning at a Chamber of Commerce meeting around, why would people want to do temporary work? Really good question, and post-COVID's a new world in so many ways. It's always been an option. So the temporary contract, the first thing I'd like to say is that it is not a 0 hours contract. They are our employee. It's a holistic relationship. If there is any issues on site, we are there from a disciplinary perspective. If there's a job change, we are there to have that conversation and make sure that that person has the skills required to be able to manage that job change. So, but yeah, in answer to the question proposed this morning, why would people want to be a temp? There's so many different reasons and so many scenarios. So an example might be that a student, let's talk about students, a student has no idea what they want to do in the workforce, and I think that's pretty common, commonplace situation. So this might be an opportunity for them to earn some money, possibly possibly still at school and studying, and we need temporary staff to help us at Farrah's on their factory line and pack wraps into boxes. So we'll call them and ask them if they'll work with us for whatever time frame that might be. The nature of the temporary contract means that we might say this is 3-week assignment, but actually there's a change in the production line and it turns out to be 2 weeks. So there is some flexibility, and both parties, the employer and the employee, understand that that's what this temporary contract is about. So, people, what's another reason somebody might choose to be on a temporary contract, Mark?
Well, I mean, it could be a variety of things, really, couldn't it? But I mean, I suppose it all comes down to the ability to be able to assess that individual as well, because, I mean, it might not be a right fit for that person going into the job, and it could be for many things. It could be cultural fit, it could be maybe they don't get along with somebody on site as well. So, being able for that individual to have that security on a temporary employment contract gives them that
the
ability.
Employer has that
right as well.
Reduces their risk.
Exactly, yeah.
So, but we're happy to answer any questions about their contract and what it looks like. There's no surprises, no hooks or barbs, and we go through it in some depth with the individual when they come through. So hopefully that explains the contract. Over to you, Helen.
Great, thank you, Nicola. Thank you, Mark. It was really interesting, actually. So it is interesting from the point of view of being able to give young people just a taste of different roles that are out there and to get paid at the same time while they're getting that taste. One of the things that we haven't talked about prior to this actual live stream is actually the continuity is rather good too, isn't it? So although they may change their actual role and start in one place in a factory role and then in another place, you guys are still the consistent factor that's taking them all the way through each contract, aren't you?
Potentially, it's a great opportunity for them to learn that. Reliability can be a knockout factor for you getting another job. So, they definitely have to prove themselves along the way. So it's a relationship that's mutually, it's built.
Yeah, and it comes with all the support and care that you're going to give them as well, which I think is, takes away some of the daunting factor that I know young people have when they think about going for a job. So what is a good cross-section of the types of placements you do?
Yeah, so we've got a variety of roles within all various sectors, just going back to the industrial, technical and commercial side. So within the industrial side, I mean, Nicola mentioned before, Farrah's wrapped, so major client of ours and a fantastic client of ours. So there's various positions in there, basically, from the assembly line through to packing and actually making the raw material within that side as well. And then the likes of within the same sort of area, and we could have pet packers with master pets and things like that, which is great also. On the technical side, we've had some really good placements with the likes of HTS Group, and an operations manager that we put in there, and they do the traffic signals throughout Wellington. And also, again, at Master Pet, we had a team leaders position and things like that were placed there as well. And within the commercial sector,
so commercial, pretty much we cover everything in the marketplace, to be honest. Apart from IT, we don't work so strong in IT, but in a couple of examples, it would be perhaps Armstrong Downs. I saw their logo today at the meeting, and we placed there a construction project manager role, and it was a cadet, so a young person coming through. Sales staff for high performance windows. We've placed several administration staff into Chubb, and Bramco down on the Esplanade. We've placed roles in there right from their factory, polishing marble, taking the burrs off the bench tops, right through to admin. So quite a broad cross section. We have Mark here in technical. I've got Lynn Watson, who has many years recruiting experience in the private sector, specialising in the private sector, in commercial, and a number of our team working in the industrial temporary space.
Yeah, and we talked last week when we were together about reception roles and administration roles, didn't we, in medical places?
Correct, yeah. Medical receptionists are so hard to find.
Yeah.
So we're always looking at innovative ways of potentially cross-training people, maybe young people that come through, and using our testing and assessment platform to upskill if we can.
Yeah, excellent. Okay, so certainly a large range of different opportunities. I think for young people coming through, it's so hard to know what's out there, and that's one of the things I love about this service that you've developed, this pilot we're going to run, is that it just opens people's eyes up just to the whole range of opportunities that are out there right now. So I think that's really powerful. I think it's also great for employers who may be a little bit reluctant to employ young people when they know so little about them, and I know employers are worried sometimes about how work ready young people are. So that engagement with you directly and be able to get people through you helps to take off some of that risk, doesn't it?
It definitely does, yeah. I think one of the things that people find difficult with the students is their work history. Because there is none. So, but that's what behavioural event interviewing is about. So it's about using their past experience to predict how they might behave in the future. So there is certain processes that we can put in place we've got tools, I guess you could say, to eliminate that risk as best we can or mitigate it. So now that we also do verbal referencing, so even if they don't necessarily have a work place reference, we could potentially speak to somebody at the school, or so we have to think a bit outside the square when interviewing and ascertaining whether the student's the right person, that's for sure.
Yeah, sure. And so, I mean, you've touched on quite a few things that employers are looking for when they're employing young people. Is there anything else?
I think probably the 3 A's is what we always talk about. So attitude, ability to learn, and attendance. So, we keep it simple. But really, attitude counts for so much, doesn't it? So, like I say, we have a certain set of questions and a process that we use to sort of support or refute the evidence that we have around whether they're the right person.
Yeah, and you do things like organise their live viz and those sorts of practical things as well, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we want to make sure that whoever we're sending out to site is going to be safe while they're there. So we'll give them all the tools that they need in terms of keeping themselves safe, right from steel cap boots through to high-vis vests and hard hats, and also tell them about the importance of keeping it, work ready and safe, clean, and so we're right with that.
Excellent, great. Well, I think it's a fabulous initiative. I commend you both for stepping forward, and thank you very much for the engagement we've had. It's been fun so far, hasn't it? So delighted to have you on board with our Education to Employment program. It's a really big part of the work we're doing with our young people and with our employers, because access to staff is still a major barrier for economic growth, and with the borders closed, then we need to be upskilling our young people. And with our schools so disrupted this year, it's very hard for our Year 13s to know where to next. So for those of you who are listening, tomorrow we have a speed meet at the Open Polytechnic, and Equip Recruitment are joining us, aren't you?
We are. We're looking forward to, is it 70 students?
Yeah, at least, actually. The number grows every time we look at it. It's like, crikey, it's becoming very popular.
Yeah, no, it's really a great opportunity to contribute to the community that we've been in for so long, and it's only right. So we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, great. And we're looking forward to having you there as well. So thank you both for having this discussion this afternoon with us. I'm sure our listeners today can take something away from this, and I'm sure that we'll get some interest from people who are saying, hey, that's a really easy way for me to engage with young people. And certainly there are people crying out for staff at the moment, because while our economy is obviously changed dramatically with COVID-19, there's lots of areas where there's massive demand right now. Maybe they were just unexpected, but the world's changed, hasn't it? So if we'll pop your contact details on this live stream so anyone can get hold of you. And don't hesitate, who's listening, to contact Equip Recruitment to find out more about how you can get involved in this really good pilot program for getting temp contracts in. So thank you all for tuning in today. Our next live stream will be tomorrow at 2:30. If you haven't registered for one of our events over the next 2 weeks, which are all part of our Wellington Business Expo for 2020, please go online to wellingtonbusinessexpo.nz and register. We have an excellent health and wellness forum on Thursday night this week, and we have 3 business safaris next week. So there's 2 seats available on those. So please register. Please get together. This is a 2-week show where we are pretty confident we can all come together at level 1. And make the most of making some new connections, building some new business, finding some new staff, and working together. So, and then also have a look on our website for our 70 plus exhibitor stands. So our Expo this year's got, I think we're about 76 stands this morning that went live, all local businesses who are promoting their products and looking for new connections and new business. So a very busy fortnight, lots of great prizes and Expo deals online. So, great to have a look on there as well. So thank you again, Nicola and Mark, for joining us this afternoon. Thank you for getting on board and supporting our Education to Employment program. It's a total pleasure to work with you on this, and I'm really looking forward to seeing who our lucky 6 people are to be, using your pilot program over the summer. Thanks very much.
Sure. All right. Thank you, Helen.
Thank you.
See you.
Okay. See you.